I, your God, have a secret for you about your strength. A truth I've held close until now. If you skip this, you'll miss the very thing that will carry you through every hard step ahead. You aren't walking this path by yourself. Someone is already stepping right beside you. The very strength you've been trying so hard to find in yourself. Not the kind you try to force when you look in the mirror before leaving the house. Not the kind a loud voice tells you a real believer should already have. Not the kind you see in people who look stronger across a room. This is a different kind of strength. A gift poured into a child whose feet still move even when their legs have forgotten how to feel. Stay with me as these next few minutes unfold. By the time these few minutes end, I'm going to pull out of my inner coat pocket one short line. I once had Isaiah write it to people in the middle of a struggle. They couldn't see the end of a line made to quiet the feeling you've been carrying right now. That you somehow have to create your own power to keep going. The strength isn't something I give you. The strength is someone who walks with you. I see you. The road hasn't been easy lately. And the body inside your shoes has been doing much more carrying than anyone around you has noticed. A mother has been making it through the day on coffee and sheer will, and that will has been getting weaker lately. A father has been holding a worry about the next paycheck close to his chest like a coin. He's scared to put down. A young woman has been getting through her workday by pretending the heaviness in her shoulders is just how she stands, not real grief. A grown son lies awake in the dark, listing all the things waiting for him at sunrise and wonders if his legs will keep moving for another season. There is one of you reading these words right now who hasn't been able to say how tired you are out loud because the people around you think you're the strong one. And that idea itself has become another burden on those same shoulders. None of those quiet exhaustions are hidden from me. Every single one is held in a strength bigger than the load. The friend who used to ask, "How are you really doing?" stopped asking. Not because they're unkind, but because the answer always sounded the same. Talking with me in the mornings has gotten quieter. Not because the love has cooled, but because asking for strength started to feel like rubbing a sore spot. A few of you have been afraid to admit you're running on borrowed fuel. Because admitting it might mean something in your life would have to fall apart. Every short prayer reached my ear. Every breath you took instead of saying, "tired," out loud was counted. None of that hiding has cost you anything in my eyes. The hiding was like a bandage for someone who has carried more than the people around them knew how to handle. A tenderness rises in me about your weariness that no one has acknowledged yet. Not impatience, not the slightest disappointment. The very fact that you are still standing, still showing up, still loving in a body that has been running on empty. That very uprightness is a kind of worship I have been receiving every morning of this season. Many believers who are louder than you have stopped showing up completely. You have not. Staying like this is a prayer in itself. Staying like this is proof of an inner strength that hasn't come from your own reserves for a long time now. Press the back of one hand into the palm of the other for just one slow breath. Gentle pressure. The fingers of one hand curling softly over the knuckles of the other. Like two travelers steadying each other, crossing a slippery part of the road. Feel the warmth where your hands meet. That small touch is older than words. It's the gesture two human beings have made for each other at tough points on the road since the very first tough point. The hand under your hand right now isn't only your other hand. It's the gesture I'm making against the place in you that has been carrying without being noticed for so long. Let your hands stay together for one more breath. Sense how neither one is doing all the work. That is what walking with me has been like the whole time. Neither one of us carrying the full load alone. Even when your senses kept telling you that you were this exhausted self, reliance didn't just happen to you. It was taught to you over years, not marked on any calendar. Small lessons soothe the same idea into your heart. Strength is something you have to make, and making it is your problem to solve. A parent once praised you when you were very young for being such a big helper at an age when you should still have been the one getting help. A workplace later treated stamina as a good thing where colleagues who admitted tiredness were quietly passed over for those who took on every burden without. A teacher rewarded classmates who never asked questions, and your soul decided that needing help was a kind of failure. Complaining. A difficult family relationship taught you that whoever asked for help first lost some unseen competition you didn't even know was being scored. Churches rewarded believers who looked like they never needed anything. And you started to think that growing up and having faith meant reaching a point where you no longer needed to be carried. None of those teachers were speaking for me. Some of them loved you and were just passing on the only idea of strength they had ever been given. Others used the word strong to keep getting from you what they had no right to ask for in the first place. Whatever the source, the same wrong idea of strength got planted in you. And that idea has been costing you years of trying to make something alone that I built into you, so you would never have to make it again. Somewhere as you grew up, you were taught to think of strength as a private. Well, each believer fills on their own time. You were taught that a faithful believer wakes up already strong, that a real son of mine should wake up with the quick confidence of someone who has slept long. You were taught that the strong ones are those with deeper wells, enough to refill their own tank. You were taught that needing fresh strength every day was a sign of being immature. That running out by Wednesday was a bad sign. That the right kind of believer should be able to make one Sunday of worship last them through the next 7 days on their own power. That is not how strength works in the country where I am the Father. A picture of how much you can carry, stuck in the front of your chest, alone. Coming from yourself, refillable only by discipline, was carved there by tools that has never been how strength works. Never belonged in my workshop. Some tools were used by sincere teachers who had never walked in hardship long enough to learn what their own well actually held. Others were used on purpose, because a believer who thinks strength is private is a believer who is easier to shame when they fall short. Whatever the source, the same wrong engraving was pressed onto you. And that engraving has been keeping you from the very companion who has been walking beside you the whole time. Slide that engraving aside, stand it against the wall for a while. Listen instead to what carrying capacity actually looks like in the country where I am the father of children built to walk with him, not without him. My strength is not put into a private well. My strength is a person walking next to you on a road. A well stays in one fixed place. You have to go to it. You have to lower the bucket. You have to draw up only as much as that bucket can hold. Wells run dry. Wells freeze. Wells belong to one spot and stay there when the road takes you elsewhere. None of that describes how I have set up your strength. A companion is not a well. A companion moves at your speed. A companion is beside you in the kitchen at 300 in the morning, and beside you on the freeway at noon, and beside you in the hospital hallway at the worst hour. A companion's strength isn't measured by how much the companion can give. A companion's strength is measured by the fact that the companion is there. And the one keeping pace at your shoulder along this road has never once stepped off it. Your own resources have been measured by you with the wrong tool. A fuel gauge has been pointed at a friendship. A fuel gauge measures whether a tank can keep a vehicle going for another stretch of miles. Friendships are not tanks. A friendship is the steady presence of one person beside another. And presence doesn't become less real because some gauge reads low. Your body may keep telling you its tank is nearly empty. That gauge isn't lying about the tank, it is simply measuring the wrong room. Where the carrying actually happens is the room where the companion walks. And such a room isn't subject to any gauge. Place one foot flat against the floor beneath your chair. Press it down /4 in. Only that much. Feel the steadiness that pushes upward into the arch. The ground underneath you isn't asking you to prove you deserve to be held. It is simply holding. Notice how the pressed down foot feels steadier than the rest of you. That's not because that foot is stronger. It's because that foot has stopped trying to hold itself up and has finally agreed to be held by what was always there. Walking with me has the same shape. The foot moves, the road holds. The companion walks alongside. Strength turns out to have been a partnership the whole time. And you were only allowed to feel weak so that you would finally discover that partnership. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission grows into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Save lost souls. But more than your support, we want your presence. When you head to our community through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you aren't just visiting a site. This is a sanctuary where you can post your prayer requests, lift up the burdens of others, and engage in daily discussions with a family that speaks the language of. You are entering a community of like-minded believers. Faith. Whether you are joining one of our membership tiers for deeper study, sowing a seed of faith, or simply joining our daily morning prayers, you are helping us build a global altar of worship. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through a community that stands together. Each gift you give acts as living water for those in our community seeking healing and hope. Give and it will be given to you, is the promise that sustains our shared mission. I invite you now to step out of the shadows and into this circle of prayer. Come with purpose, join the conversation, and plant your seed in fertile ground. Let's open the heavens together. Release your seed today. Join our community and see what God brings back into your life. A specific line is waiting for you, and I want to lift it out now. Take it the way its first listeners took it, not as a fancy verse on a Sunday screen, but as the walk-sealed message carried on foot into a refugee camp. Read aloud over a circle of tired people who had every visible reason to think their energy was completely gone. I had a prophet named Isaiah carry this one to a defeated nation early in their hardship. An audience whose walls lay broken and whose children had been led away in chains. An immediate promise of victory wasn't what they needed. What they needed was a firm hand under their elbow while they kept walking. Listen to what I spoke through him. Isaiah 14:10. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Go through it slowly alongside me. More lives in this short line than any first reading will catch. Fear not. Notice the first two words. I didn't begin with be stronger. I didn't begin with try harder. I didn't begin with produce more endurance and then we will talk. I began with fear not. The first thing a father says to a tired child is not a demand for more effort. The first thing a father says is a hand on the shoulder. Fear not. That phrase isn't a command to make yourself brave. That phrase is the announcement that the reason for the fear has already been handled. Fear is the body's response to walking a road alone. Fear not because the loneliness was a misunderstanding. You have never been on this road by yourself, for I am with you. Listen to the reason. Not for you have grown enough. Not for you have prayed long enough. Not for your obedience last week earned this benefit, for I am with you. The reason your fear can lessen is not found in how you perform. The reason is found in how close I am with you right now. In the room where you are reading, on the road you have been walking. In the kitchen where the bills are, in the hospital hallway. In the bedroom where the silence has been the loudest. With you, not behind you watching, not ahead of you waiting. With you at your shoulder on the same ground your foot is standing on. Be not dismayed, hear the gentleness of that second part. The verb is letting go, not scolding. A father is not embarrassed that the road has been hard enough to discourage you. A father is simply letting you know that the dismay doesn't have to keep its hold because the reason for the dismay has been answered. Whatever has been threatening to break your upright posture has already been seen by the one walking beside you. And the one walking beside you has not been discouraged himself for a single second. For I am your God. Hold those 4 words for a moment. Not a God, not a distant one, not an absent one. Your God, the one whose name is on the front of your story, the one who knew the shape of your shoulders before your shoulders were given to you. The one whose voice you have known since you were inside your mother's body. That kind of God is not an outsider reviewing your case. That kind of God is the one whose own honor is tied up in you reaching the end of this road. He cannot afford to let you collapse because his name is on the destination as much as it is on the starting line. I will strengthen you. Think about that verb, will not, might not, could. Not perhaps if conditions are good enough, will. The strengthening is an action that belongs to me, not a result you have to produce. The verb is active and it is mine. You don't have to strengthen yourself to receive the strengthening. Receiving is the whole task. A child doesn't strengthen himself before a father feeds him. A father feeds. The child eats. The strength shows up afterward. Not because the child acted strong first, but because the food was given by the father. I will help you hear how clear that is. No complicated ideas, no fancy words, just the simple promise of one person to another. I will help you. Help is the smallest, most common kindness a parent offers a child. Help is what a father says when his son can't lift the box alone. Help is what a father says when his daughter can't reach the high shelf. Help is the verb of a person who refuses to let his child stand alone in front of a task that is too big. The promise in this sentence isn't the promise that the task will disappear. The promise is the promise of company during the task. I am not taking the road away from you. I am walking it with you. The walking with is the help. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Read those words slowly. Uphold. A verb about carrying weight with my righteous right hand. The strongest hand a father has, not the back of his hand, not an absent hand. Not the hand say for some other son who has behaved better, my righteous right hand. A hand that holds creation in place, one that parted the sea, one that shaped your face inside your mother's darkness. Such a hand is currently under your elbow. Not just a figure of speech, but really right now carrying the part of you that you have been afraid to admit you couldn't carry alone. Now, as you feel the hand under your elbow, I invite you to declare your acceptance. Type Amen in the comments below as a sign that you are letting go of self-reliance and allowing the righteous right hand to uphold you. Let this be your agreement that you are not walking this road alone, and stay with me because we will close with a powerful activation for your week. Also, if this message is stirring something in you, I want you to know that liking this video will activate the flow of God's favor in your life. Press that like button now as an act of faith. Such a promise was given to people who had no visible reason to believe it. And it was enough to keep their feet moving through years of staying upright in a country that wasn't theirs. A firm hand under your elbow is enough to keep yours moving too. An end to your own hardship is in the plan of the one holding that elbow. And he is not lost on the road. An older voice of mine, a singer in Israel, once promised that whoever waits on me will have their strength renewed. Let that older promise settle in alongside what Isaiah has just put into your hand. Renewing strength was never something you were going to produce by sleeping longer or eating better or finally taking the right vitamin. The renewing arrives the way every gift from a father arrives, by being near the one who has it to give. Stay near, the strength will keep arriving. Go back for a breath now to the line I said at the beginning of these words. I told you the strength wasn't what I give you, the strength is who walks with you. Here is why. Because the kind of road you are walking isn't crossed by how much strength you have. It gets crossed by the presence of the one who knows the road. A messenger crossing a strange country alone needs a lot of supplies. A child crossing the same country with his father needs only the father. Providing becomes the father's problem when the father is the one walking. I have never asked you to be the supply train for your own road. I have asked you to be the child of the one walking it with you. A small habit can be tucked into the rhythm of an ordinary day. Whenever you start feeling like your strength is gone, and that feeling will come because exhaustion is part of the road, pause where you are sitting and ask yourself one quiet question. Not how do I get more strength? That question puts the burden back on you. The question is, who is walking with me right now? That is the whole practice. Only the question. The question does the work, because the question turns your mind from the empty fuel gauge in your chest to the companion already beside your shoulder. When there's time for a second beat, add it. Once the question lands, resist the urge to rush forward. Linger one breath longer than your gut tells you to. Many will run right past the relief of remembering a companion, because relief is a strange place for a body that has been carrying alone. Stay in that strange place. Let your shoulders feel that a companion is stepping beside you. Let your elbow feel that a hand is already there. The body needs to be taught about this presence as much as the mind does. Whenever you notice a small steadying, inside an ordinary week and unexpected hour when the load felt lighter, a moment of unexplainable peace dropping into a stressful afternoon, a sudden ability to do one task you had been dreading, refuse a third beat even gentler, to write off the moment as coincidence. Whisper softly with whatever voice your surroundings allow, he is in step. Such a short phrase is a whole way of being. Your eyes are taught by it to spot proof that the carrying hasn't been so lonely. If any of what I have said is reaching a tired part of you, place the word walk down below as a comment, not as a tag, but as one small stone laid on the shoulder of, even when your heart insisted otherwise, a road you were not crossing on your own. Above this video in the pinned spot, 7 short letters are waiting, ready, one for each daybreak of the coming week. They'll slip into your inbox as soon as a soft yes opens the gate. Take them. Try them. One might still make you flinch at the answer. That flinch is muscle memory from years spent carrying alone. After 7 tries, the flinch may still be there. By the 30th try, notice a quieter shift. The loneliness behind your exhaustion will have lessened little by little. By the 50th try, catch yourself going whole hours without trying to make your own strength before getting out of your chair. By the 100th try, glance back over a recent couple of weeks and realize you stopped reaching for the empty fuel gauge some weeks ago. And the road kept getting crossed anyway because the one crossing it beside you never stopped as this awakening grows inside you. I know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of Arco-Fi community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself. Jesus says, this is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. A direct word for the one of you whose body has been refusing to keep up with what this season demands. A body is not a moral failure. A body is a vessel moving through real ground. The strength your body is asking for is not the strength of pretending the body is fine. It is the willingness to lean a little more of your weight onto an elbow already being held. Lean. A hand hasn't been there for decoration. It has been there to be leaned on. For whoever is reading from inside a battle that has gone on longer than the people around you imagined any battle could go. Listen, long battles are not proof that the companion has left. Long battles are proof that the road through that particular country is a long road and the companion is committed to walking the full length of it. Arriving on the other side is not the proof you keep looking for. Continuing to walk in the meantime is the actual proof. And that continuing has not been your doing alone. It has been a partnership the entire time. For the one who has been carrying a quiet shame about how often you have needed to ask for fresh strength, please hear me. Asking is not weakness. Asking is knowing where what you are asking for is found. A child who has learned where the food is kept is not a weaker child. A child who has learned where the food is kept is a wiser child. Such asking is wisdom. Keep asking. The supply does not run out. It walks beside you. For whoever has been comparing your remaining energy with the visible energy of a sibling, a coworker, a friend on social media, hear this carefully. Energy is not measured in public. The strongest people I have ever known were people whose inner carrying was completely invisible to the rooms they moved through. Their whales were not larger, their companion was simply nearer. Step away from the comparison. A companion next to you is the same companion next to them. Neither one of you walks alone. Listen. Parent who has been getting through years of raising a child with extra needs. and your strength has felt like a flame down to its last quarter in a wick. Hear this. Also, a wick does not have to be long for the flame to keep burning. A flame depends on the breath of the one sitting beside the lantern. Your wick is not the changing factor in this equation. The breath of a companion is the changing factor, and that breath is steady. Keep walking with the lantern that you have. The flame is in better hands than yours. To the one who has been afraid that the one walking with you might finally grow tired of how much caring you require. Listen, Father strength does not get less. A well I draw from to hold up the part of you that has been struggling. It is a well no human bucket has ever been able to lower deep enough to reach the bottom of. Your need does not exhaust me. Your need is the very reason that well was filled in the first place. Drink from it as often as today requires. A supply like mine doesn't even notice the drawing. And whoever among you is currently in a tender stretch where the road is smoother and your strength feels more available, hear one final word. Smoothness carries its own subtle danger. A risk inside any smoother stretch is the quiet slide toward believing your ability to carry is finally your own. Keep walking by the same companion across the smoother seasons. A child who learns to walk by the Father's hand in the easy years is the same child who knows where the hand is in the hard years. Practice the leaning even when the leaning seems unnecessary. The hand likes to be reached for. The reaching is the relationship. Sew one quiet sentence into the lining of the ordinary week ahead of you. Whisper it at a red light when your body is suddenly too tired for the next errand. Press it into the soft place above your collarbone when an alarm clock asks for one more morning of getting up. Speak it into the dark when sleep refuses to come and your worry list begins to repeat itself. Both halves of it remain true whether or not your senses confirm them in this very hour. A companion does not need your confirmation to keep moving. He has been beside you the whole time, and he has every intention of crossing what remains. If this truth has landed in your heart, I want you to anchor it. In the comments below, write these exact words. He is with me. Not as a theory, but as the reality you are now walking in. Let that short confession be the stone you set on the path today. Write it now and feel the shift as you speak it. And as you do, I encourage you to share this prophetic word with someone who needs it. Sharing this video will activate the anointing and share that breakthrough with your network. Pass it on now. When you notice the carrying lighten in a small wave, and you will because renewal arrives on its own schedule, and that schedule has never been late by my measure. Try not to be surprised by how quietly it shows up. Most renewals do not announce themselves with a trumpet. Legs simply begin moving again, dread about the next task lifts by a little bit. Your mind quiets around a worry that has been spinning for days. Honor that small return, stop where you happen to be and breathe one slow exhale. Whisper a small thank you under your breath. A companion hears. He has been waiting for that small whisper across every mile of this road already. Amen. You are about to enter your divine future. But remember, this breakthrough is not for you alone. Your testimony is the bridge someone else will use to reach their own miracle. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community does not go to a channel, your actions are supporting a divine mission to. Archangel Michael is inviting you to visit community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Save lost souls. By joining our like-minded community, you are no longer praying in isolation. You are adding your voice to a global sanctuary where we discuss the Word daily and stand in the gap for one another. When Jesus says, "Give and heaven will open over you," on this platform, every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and this is not poetry. Hedge of safety for your family. Now is your time. Step into our community prayer wall. Share your heart, and as you give, watch God multiply what you let go of. Let's finish this journey together. Visit our community now. Join the family and see your heavens open. If today's words landed somewhere tired in you, 7 short letters are sitting ready inside the pinned spot just below. One for each daybreak of the week ahead, arriving in your inbox the moment a soft yes opens the gate. Take them, forward this video onto someone whose legs have been running on fumes. Lately, sharing this prophetic word will activate the anointing and share that breakthrough with their network. Hit subscribe so the next word arrives in your feed before the next stretch of road does. Subscribing will activate God's prophetic promise and alignment in your life. No traveler was ever meant to cross this kind of country alone. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is a divine appointment meant specifically for you. You are being invited into a protected, faith-filled community at the link in the description and pinned comment. A place where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise built on the Word. By heading to the site right now, you are unlocking access to a sacred community of like-minded believers. When you join our membership tiers, you gain immediate entry to powerful content, daily devotions, and divine insights that are hidden from the world. This is your chance to enter a sanctuary where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support on our prayer wall, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join our inner circle through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the personalized messages and spiritual warfare tools meant to elevate your life. If you feel called to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. For those who want to amplify this work and carry the light home, you can find our guided ebooks and Bibles in the pinned comment. Whether you join as a member or sow a seed through our resources, your presence and energy change the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.